everyone, I'm Noreen and welcome to my kitchen, and today we have a recipe by request. Homemade baked manicotti. This is so simple, I think that you will be surprised at exactly how easy this is to make. We made some homemade marinara sauce and a delicious cheese filling, and this is so simple, you're gonna love it. Let's go see what goes into homemade baked manicotti. Okay, we're going to go over the ingredients for this manicotti. This is being done by request. I had a viewer who sent me a private message last week, I think, and she asked me if I had a manicotti recipe, and I thought, well, I haven't done manicotti, and I think that's a really great idea, so I'm going to share how easy it is to make manicotti. Recently, I shared with you how to make a delicious pantry shelf marinara, and we're going to be using that in this recipe as well. You don't see it on the board because it's over on the stove because I just finished making it. So what you're gonna need for your manicotti is manicotti. You're gonna need manicotti pasta. Tonight I'm making 2 casserole pans of manicotti. I'm gonna make one for dinner, and then the other one we're not gonna bake off. We're just gonna wrap it really well and we're gonna freeze it for later. So we're gonna be freezer banking one of these. Now, that's one of my favorite things to do, because if you're gonna go to the trouble of making something like this, make 2, because then you're taking the work out of one night where you don't know what to make. You just pull this out of the freezer, pop it in the oven for an hour, voila, dinner with a salad and a loaf of bread, good to go. So what you're gonna need is 2 32-ounce containers of a good quality ricotta cheese. This is, I'll show you, this is the only kind of ricotta I like. This is the Galbani, and I think it is available nationwide. If you can't find this, my second choice would be Polly O. Make sure that you get a whole milk ricotta because it will hold together better and it will be nice and firm in the end, and that's what you want. I also have about a bunch of flat leaf Italian parsley that I've roughly chopped in here. I love parsley in my ricotta filling. Then the other thing we're gonna need, I'm just gonna pop these in the bowl and we'll stir everything up. I have about 3 cups of good quality shredded mozzarella cheese. This is a whole milk mozzarella. The taste tester will approve.
That's what it is.
And I have grated my own Parmigiano Reggiano and Pecorino Romano blend. I got a wedge of each, a Pecorino Romano and a Parmigiano Reggiano, and I just grated these in my Ninja, my drink blender. It's awesome for grating cheese like this. I love it. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of salt. That is optional. You don't have to do it. And then, because this is something my mom and my grandmother always did, ricotta or cream sauce always gets some nutmeg. That's about 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon. You don't need a whole lot, but it does make a difference. And for this amount, 4 eggs. I'm gonna put the recipe on my website for a single version of this casserole. That way you can double it or triple it if you want. It's up to you. And then we're just gonna give this a good mix. All right, I got myself all squared away. I put some of my filling in a pastry bag. If you don't have pastry bags, don't worry. You can just put this in a big, like, gallon-sized Ziploc and force everything down into one corner and then clip the corner, and voila, you have a pastry bag. The beauty of manicotti, you don't have to cook these. You just stuff them. That is all you have to do. It's just that simple. And the egg that's in there is gonna hold all of the filling together, and it's gonna bake up really beautiful. And I'm gonna use 1 box of manicotti shells to 1 pan. And sometimes you have to do both ends like that, so don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be perfect, because your family's gonna love it anyway. And sometimes it might be easier for you to do it like that anyway. Easy peasy. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go finish filling all of these shells up, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what happens next. All right, I finished filling both pans of manicotti, and I had a little bit of cheese filling left, so I just distributed it between both pans because everybody likes the cheese filling. That's the most important part of the manicotti, so nobody's gonna complain about that. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take more sauce. There's about 2 cups in the bottom, And we're going to cover this completely with even more sauce. You want all of your dry pasta to be covered. Because the pasta is dry and it's going to need that moisture to cook up. Just like that. I'd say that's probably 3.5 cups maybe. And then you're going to take some more shredded mozzarella. And here's where you can use your creative license and put however much you like. This is about 2 cups. And I'm going to give it a sprinkle of parm. And we're good. Now, I'm going to cover this with a piece of parchment paper and a piece of aluminum foil. We're going to pop this in a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes to an hour until the pasta is soft and the manicotti is firm and everything is happy, happy, joy, joy. So, when it's time to come out of the oven, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, this is ready to come out. Now, I had it in the oven for an hour. I pulled it out and I took off the foil and the parchment paper and I put it back in the oven for 10 minutes. Now, this pasta is nice and soft now. You can see here. It's ready to go. Now, I want you to let this sit for about 5 minutes before you dig into that because it is molten and you will hurt yourself or someone will burn their mouth and nobody likes it. I always say that in my recipes too, to go ahead and let things sit for 5 or 10 minutes just so they can calm down and you can enjoy it. When you eat things that are super hot, you can't really taste them and you don't get the full effect. Just like you should allow your ice cream to temper a little bit before you eat it because then you get the full flavor profile of it and it's always more delicious. So we're gonna let this sit, hang out for a few. We'll meet you back at the counter and I'll fix you a plate of this delicious homemade cheese manicotti. And there you have it, delicious baked manicotti. You made it yourself. You don't have to use homemade marinara. You can just buy some in a jar and it's gonna go together perfectly. You use what you like and what you have available. This manicotti is gonna be delicious. I think it still might be a little hot, but are you ready to taste it?
I'll chance it.
You're gonna chance it? I love how the pasta cooks right in the sauce. What do you think?
That's delicious.
Is it good?
It's not hot at all.
Oh, really? So we've had it out long enough, huh? Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. You wouldn't think an hour would be long enough to cook that pasta, but oh my gosh, it's delicious.
It is.
That will rival anything you've ever had in an Italian restaurant, I promise you. And you made it at home. And if you do like I did, you can freezer bank an entire casserole and save it for another night. That's the best part. This particular casserole is going to feed our family for 2 meals. So 2 casseroles is 4 meals. You can make it in smaller portions if you like. You can freeze it in individual portions. You do what's best for you. I want to thank you for joining me today so you could see how I make delicious homemade baked manicotti. If you liked the video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're not already, be sure and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we always share right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope that you give this homemade baked manicotti a try, and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya. Our crushed tomatoes. And I guess that was a tomato puree. All right then. Huh? Yeah. Okay.